This is R.A. Sweeney. I'm here to talk to you about another part of the Praying with the Bible series. I have started on the Praying with the Gospel Accounts manuscript, and so I'm excited to finally be able to start talking about that. So today I wanted to talk about really kind of the beginning of the Gospel, but kind of focusing on a passage toward the end of Luke chapter 2. So in this passage, Jesus is being brought to the temple as an infant to do some of the rituals that are required after babies are born in Jewish culture. So there's the presentation and the cleansing and the naming and some of those things that all go in there. So he's been brought to the temple and he meets a couple people there. But to backtrack a little bit, you had several people that had some really strange and exciting and awesome things happen before this point in the story. So Gabriel had appeared to Zechariah, and he just couldn't believe what he was hearing and refused to believe, and so he ended up rather than being blessed with the news, it was a curse to him. Elizabeth received messaging. Mary received messaging. Joseph received messaging, all from Gabriel, and it's none of them really knew what to do with it. They were all confused. The shepherds came at the bidding of the angel, and they still didn't really know what to do with it. The depending on exactly how you read things, potentially the wise men had come at this point. I think they probably came afterward, but potentially they even came. But nobody in all of those stories prayed. People gave thanks, people were confused, people talked to the messenger a little bit and were kind of like, what are you talking about, dude? But none of it really struck me as prayer until Jesus is brought to the temple and there's a couple people there that they know what they're hoping in. They've been at the temple, they're waiting, they're hoping, and they know what their hope is. And when they see Jesus, they recognize, like, this is the fulfillment of the hope that I have. I've been expecting this, I've been waiting for this, and now I'm seeing it coming to fruition. And so then they prayed and they gave thanks, and they actually were able to respond appropriately because they knew what they were looking for and they were seeing it come to happen. And so really that got me to wondering, how much do we not really know what we're hoping for? How much do we just have this ambiguous hope? And I don't think there's anything wrong with ambiguous hope, but I feel like the two people here in the temple who came and prayed experienced the birth of Jesus in a way that nobody else did. They got more blessing out of that moment than anyone else had, because they knew what their hope was. And so how much have we really defined our hope? How much do we know what the hope that we're hoping in really looks like? And then how much are we looking for it and expecting to see it? I think Zechariah is probably the best example of, he hears what he probably already knew would happen, and he's just like, no, this. I don't believe you, and so he, even though he knew what he wanted, he wasn't expecting to see it, and refused to believe it. And so, really, that's my question: how much do we know what our hope looks like? Have we looked at what the Bible actually is promising for us, and are we hoping in that? Do we have a clear picture of that? And then are we expecting to see it in the kind of way that when we start to recognize it, we start to say, hey, this looks like what I've been hoping for? So that's what I wrote about for really the first several chapters of the four gospel accounts, but focusing on the end of Luke chapter 2. Thanks, guys.